Hi everyone, this is David P., they, them. I am the Internal Communications Officer for Seattle DSA. Today we're going to be going over an overview of how to send as well as target an email in ActionNetwork. ActionNetwork is a tool that's provided through DSA National that we use to maintain and send emails as well as do numerous other activities and also update member contact info. So it's really useful. There's a lot of different things. And so today is only going to focus on just creating an email and then targeting that email to certain common use cases. For example, sending an email to members who live in a given Seattle City Council district, or sending an email to non-members who completed a form at some event. All right, so let's dig in. So first you'll go to actionnetwork.org and you'll log in. If you don't have permissions, feel free to reach out in the comms channel and we can get you added. Within Action Network, there's things called groups. And so the entire chapter is considered the Seattle DSA group, and there's subgroups for each district or for different committees like Shama Solidarity and the Stephanie Gallardo campaign and anti-imperialism. So to start creating an email, you select from the menu, it's under Start Organizing, and then People, because we're going to do something with the general population or with members, and so we're going to do an email. We're going to click that plus button. Clicking on the email itself will also do it. So we're going to call this training email to target members in a district. Now we recently refreshed our data, so we have accurate geocoding for members based on their address and what district they're in. So we have people outside of Seattle, we have people on the east side, and then we have individual city council districts that each have a city council member representing them. All right, so this is all self-explanatory in the top. There's the subject. You can add this plus symbol, adds an alternate subject. Maybe you want to try out different messaging to appeal to different folks. You can add that here. You can change the name that it's coming from if you want to say, hey, this is David from Seattle DSA, to make it more personal and to let people know who's sending it and why it's being sent. Preview text, you can designate what information is in the preview. If not, it's going to pick the first few lines from the actual email body. By default, all emails from the chapter use this updated 2020 design. It has the logo and letterhead at the top, and then whatever you type here in the body of the email is what it's going to display. You can also do alternate bodies. You can also add snippets of code that include information like, here is a member's first name, if you wanted to personalize the email or the ask. You can link to files, pretty self-explanatory, add emojis, all sorts of stuff. All right. So once you have your email drafted, like let's say, hello, District 2, we are canceling today's event due to extreme heat. All right, so we can save and target the email. Subject line. We're going to save and target the email. All right. Now this is the part that's most daunting for people when they're targeting an email and they're trying to reach certain people on our lists. There's a lot of information. This left column, if you're on a desktop, is all what we can include. That's only people matching this criteria. And we can also exclude people from that same list. So we can have this email's only going to members on the include side, and then exclude, we're going to exclude people who already completed the census. For this example, we're just targeting members in a given district. So to do that, we're going to go down to our queries. On the left-hand side, we're going to do total members, so people in good standing as well as recently lapsed, because they could renew their dues and it might take a week or two for their info to update in our database. So we're going to target members, and then we also want to target a given district. Let's say it is District 2 emails. Okay, so we've got a report that's already pre-populated of District 2 emails. It's going out to all of our members. And so with this, we'd be able to send an email to just this specific group. So let's say preview and send won't send it. It's going to calculate how many people are targeted by those conditions you set up. So it's calculating right now. It's using this report and this query. So it's only using people that match both of these criteria. All right, and it generally takes a couple minutes, 71 people. So there's 71 activists in District 2. So we could go ahead and send the email now if we wanted. Eventually this data is going to be better populated as we get more information about where people live onto our ActionNetwork lists. All this information is restricted, so not everyone has access to it. It's not everyone is going to be able to view it. And then if we wanted to, we could send the email right now. We could do testing, or we can schedule the email. And we could send on a specific time or send by specific times within time zones. Yeah, so that's how we do that. Now let's say that we wanted to target non-members, and we wanted to target only those who have completed a given form. Well, we can go back to target and change the criteria as we want. All right. It's loading all the information. It's going to take a moment. We're going to remove this. We're going to remove that. And now we're going to remove, okay, it's not going to go to members. And it's only going to do people who completed a given form. So we can go up to actions. So let's say we only want to include non-members who happen to stop by an electoral committee. Like, let's say it's that. All right. So these will be people who attended the July electoral committee meeting, and it's going to exclude those who are members. So we're going to reach out, like, let's say this is an email to recruit people to the electoral committee, or to get them involved with a specific campaign, like Seattle DSA for Nikita Oliver, or Seattle DSA for Stephanie Gallardo, or Shama Sawant. All right. So we can hit save, preview, and send, and it's going to recalculate those activists. All right. Now this might be too narrow of a criteria. It could be that only members attended the electoral committee, which is entirely possible. But let's wait for it. Yeah, so if you have like sign-in sheets and stuff, you can include those. So 0 activists attended the electoral committee who weren't already members. Everyone who attended was already in Seattle DSA, and everyone who RSVP'd at least. All right. So that concludes the Skillshare. Once again, we provided an overview at the beginning of going to people, going to emails, clicking new, and then we wrote an email. I explained some of the options, like adding alternate subject lines, customizing the from line in case it's from a specific group within the chapter. sending the body the default information about what the email is going to look like, and you can send a test message to yourself. And then we went over targeting and how to include and exclude various conditions. So we can have just an email going to people who live in Renton, or at least that's what's in their member data or the information they completed on our forms. And then we did preview and send. We were able to review how many people our email was going to reach, if there was an issue with the underlying report or query, and what it all means. And then we went over how to schedule or time when an email goes out. It doesn't have to be immediate, but you can do that as well. Once again, this is David. They, them pronouns are my preferred, and I'm the internal comms officer for Seattle DSA.